Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you how to open the file picker after clicking on this plus button. In the file picker, the user will be able to only select PDF or TXT files. Let me show you how does this work in the demo. As you can see, now the application is running. Let me click on the plus button. So as you can see, here is the file picker. You can see that here I have, for example, this image. I cannot select it, it's grayed out. That's because I have filtered the files that the user can select to only PDF and TXT files. As you can see here, I have a PDF file. I can click on it and select it. And here you have the option to select one file at a time. Okay, so for example, here is the PDF file that I have selected. If I want to select another one, I can do that. And as you can see here, I have both of them. Let me show you what happens when I select a TXT file. Let's see if I have one. Yeah, for example, here I have selected this TXT file. Okay, so here in this video, I will show you just how to click on the plus button, how to select a file, how to read it, how to extract, for example, the name, the type of the file. But in the upcoming videos, I will show you how to add that file that you have selected to the right navigation drawer. Now, open the main activity class and declare the upload files button like this. So remember that here we are using an image button. So import the class, and inside the instantiate views method, we will instantiate the button. Now, let's create a new method called setActionButtonsListeners, and make sure to call it inside the onCreate method. So let's go down below instantiate objects and declare this variable or this method. And inside we will use the button, the upload files button, to set the onClick listener like this. Set on click listener. And here I like to use the lambda expression, so let's use it. When the button is clicked, we will initiate an intent to open the file picker. This is how we create an intent. So here make sure to import the class, and here you can see that here we have an action get content, which means that we will be able to open a file picker. Normally we use intents to move between activities, but in this case we are going to move to the file picker so that we can select the file and then return. After that, we will use the intent to set the type to any file type, but later we will see how to filter it. So to filter the files that the user can select, we will pass a string array of all the file types as an extra data to the intent, so that the file picker shows only PDF and text files. Now, after filtering the files that the user can select, we are ready to open the file picker. To do this, we can call a method called startActivity4result. And here we need to pass the intent and a request code. Here I will just use one. Now we need to go up and override. So I'll just go below this dispatch touch event method and click on Control O, and search for a method called onActivityResult. So we need to override this method. But why? Well, when you start an activity for a result using this method, the system eventually calls the onActivityResult. That's why we did override this method. The onActivityResult method allows you to handle the data returned by the activity. In our case, the data will be either a text file or a PDF file. So basically, if the user selected, let's say, a text file, this method will allow you to extract any information you want from that specific file that the user selected. Now, below this super call, let me show you what we need to do. First, we need to verify if the data is not null. This is important, which means that this file that the user selected is a valid file. and that the result code is okay, which means that we have data, there is no problem. If this condition is satisfied, we need to make sure that the request code is equal to 1. Because when we called the start activity for result, we passed 1. This way, we know that number 1 means a request from the user to read files from the device. Now let's open a try and catch block and start by retrieving the URI. URI is a class in Android that represents a uniform resource identifier. It is used to access the file's content. After that, we can extract the file name. So here I will add, or I will declare a variable called file name and create a new method called getFileName, and I will pass the file URI as an argument. Currently we don't have this method, so let's declare it here. Inside the getFileName method, I will start by using the getContentResolver.query to fetch information about the file. This query we are making doesn't specify any particular columns to retrieve. This is why we are passing null. We just want to check if the URI that we have passed is a valid URI and that it points to a valid file. This query returns a cursor object. The cursor object will allow us to get the file name from this file URI. So we need to make sure that it is not null. So if the cursor is not equal to null and cursor, so let's use cursor dot move to first. Here, why are we doing this? Well, as I said, if the cursor is valid, this means that we have information about this file. That's why we can move the cursor to the first row to access the data. Now we can retrieve the index for the display name. You can see that we have a column called display name, and this column holds the name of the file. So if the name index exists, this means that we can extract the name as a string using the cursor.getString method. And how do we know that the name index is valid? Just by testing if it is not equal to -1. So if name index is different than -1, we are sure that the display name column exists, and we can after that extract the column or the file name. So as I told you, we will use the cursor because it has this method which is called getString, and we just need to pass the index, and after that we will return the file name immediately. After returning the file name, we need to close the cursor to free up resources. So just type in cursor.close. And finally, if that data was not valid, or if the file URI is not valid, we need to return null because we didn't find anything. Awesome, we finished working on the getFileName method. Now go back to onActivityResult. And just after the file name, we can, for example, extract the type of the file, which is called mim type. So how do we do this? So let me add another variable. Let's call it mim type. And this is very easy to do. So just call the getContentResolver.getType and then just give it the file URI. Okay, so now here what we have done. When the user selects a file, we will first start by extracting the file URI. This is very important because the file URI will point to that file. And after that, we are going to extract the file name and the mim type from that file URI. I hope that you understood this. As I told you in the beginning of this video, we are not going to extract the text and then put this file in the right navigation drawer, but instead I am just going to show a toast message where I will, so let me use the second one. So toast, yeah, this one. So here we have this, and here I will just type in file name, I will add another toast message where I will show the type of this file. So here, let's call it, or let's type in meme type. And then in the next videos, I will show you how do you extract text from TXT files and PDF files. Extracting the text from TXT files is very straightforward. We can do that with plain Java. But when it comes to PDF files, it's a bit tricky. We cannot do that manually because we need to deal in with a lot of things, such as images. But luckily, there is a library that we can use so that we can extract text very easily from PDF files. This will take a lot of time. This is why I didn't try to add this part in this video. So we will do it in the next one. Now let's pause and test the application. Make sure to plug in your device or select it if you have it here and then hit the play button. I will do this. I'll wait for the application to build and then I'll come back to see if what we have done is working perfectly or not. Okay, as you can see, the application now is running. Let's click on the plus button. Awesome, so as you can see, the file picker now is showing. So let's click on the first PDF file. As you can see, so we have the name astronomy.lr.pdf, and here this is the meme type. Now let's select a TXT file to see if this is working. So let's go to downloads. I think I have a TXT file here. Okay, so here is a TXT file. You can see that here is the name and the type is text plain, which is awesome. Now let's test, because here, as I told you, we are filtering the types of files that the user can select, which means that the user cannot select, for example, JPEG images or .xml files or any other extension except PDF and TXT extensions, which is great. So as you can see, the application now is running. This is perfect. In the next video, we will try to extract the text from both files, TXT and PDF files. Okay, so if you are interested, please make sure to leave a like on this video and just wait for the other one. See you next time.